For about 100 years, there's been one machine, and one machine only, that's really defined global culture. And I'm talking, of course, about Hollywood. But here's the thing. That machine, it's breaking down. It's sputtering. And, in its shadow, something completely new is starting to take root. So let's get into it. This is a story of collapse, but also creation.
So what's the core issue here? Well, it's pretty clear. That reliable, predictable engine, the box office machine that has powered Hollywood forever, it's just not bouncing back. It's showing some really serious signs of long-term damage, and when you look at the numbers, wow, they tell a pretty stark story. Okay, let's look at a big number, $8.75 billion. That's the recent US box office revenue. Now, that sounds like a ton of money, right? But here's the catch. It's actually down a staggering 20, maybe even 25% from where it was before the pandemic, when it was peaking at over 11 billion. I mean, that's a massive chunk of the pie that has just vanished.
And it's not just about the money. The problem actually goes deeper. Check out this number, 95. What's that? That's how many wide-release movies came out in 2023. Now, before all the craziness of the last few years, we were consistently getting around 112 films a year. So think about it. It's not just that they're making less money. It means we, the audience, are getting fewer choices. The whole cultural conversation is getting narrower.
Okay, now let's zoom out. Let's look at the global picture, because this is where it gets really dramatic. Just 10 years ago, American movies basically owned the global market. We're talking almost 90%. Today, that has absolutely plummeted to around 69%. So let me put that another way. For every 10 people watching a movie somewhere in the world a decade ago, 2 or 3 of them have just stopped watching Hollywood films. They've gone somewhere else. All right, so we've established the machine is stalling out, but the big question is, why? What's actually going on under the hood? Well, this next part, we're going to dig into the economics of it all. It's something the folks we're looking at are calling the ROI crisis. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Just 10 years ago, if a studio threw a massive budget at a movie, it was almost a guarantee of a massive payday. That is just not the case anymore. The average blockbuster budget these days, it's over $175 million. That means every single big movie is this insane, high-stakes, all-or-nothing bet for the studios. And you want to see just how risky that bet can be? Let's take a look at the movie Babylon from 2022. To break even, just to get its money back, it needed to make about $250 million. So what did it actually pull in? $63 million. Worldwide, that's a net loss of around $87 million. I mean, that's not just a flop, that's a catastrophic failure. And the scary part? It's happening way more often than you'd think.
So you see, this whole financial crisis is completely tied to a creative one. The studios, they're scared of losing money, so what do? They double down on what they think is safe. Sequels, reboots, franchises. You've seen it, right? But here's the thing. We're all feeling it. It's called sequel fatigue, and it's very, very real. Audiences are just getting bored of the same old stories, and they're starting to vote with their wallets by staying home.
Okay, so the old model is broken. Audiences are getting tired of the same old stuff. So that leads to a pretty obvious question, right? Where did everybody go? Seriously, think about it for a second. Have you personally just stopped watching movies altogether? Probably not. Or have you just changed how and where you get your stories? And that's the answer, right there. People didn't just vanish into thin air. They left the kind of lonely, isolated experience of a dark movie theater, and they went looking for community. They're looking for real, direct connections with the people making the stuff they love, and with other fans. They want to be in places where they feel like they're actually part of the story. And the scale of this shift, honestly, it's just mind-boggling. Get this, by 2027, the creator economy is projected to be worth over $250 billion. That number completely, totally dwarfs the traditional box office. So we're not talking about some small niche trend here. This is the new center of gravity for culture, period. So who's building this new world? Well, it's a whole new kind of hero. We're talking about independent creators, modern-day mythmakers, really. They're the ones building entire universes from scratch, hand in hand with their communities. But even though they're the new kings and queens of culture, they have a huge problem. I love how the source material puts it, they have no castle. Think about it. Their communities are scattered all over the place. Twitch, Patreon, Discord, you name it. They're stuck in this distribution trap set up by the old media giants. And the biggest thing? They want and deserve autonomy, equity, real ownership of what they create, of their IP.
So, this is where the story takes a turn. A potential solution pops up. There's this company called SharkFilet, and they're putting forward a whole new model. Their goal isn't just to make more content, it's to build a home, a sanctuary for this next generation of creators and the amazing IP they're building.
All right, so what does this new blueprint actually look like? How does it work? Let's break down exactly what SharkFilet is proposing. It's a really cool mix of some old school ideas and some very new school thinking. Okay, think of it like this. Imagine you take the cool, curated, high-quality vibe of a studio like A24. You combine that with a massive interconnected universe building of Marvel. Then you sprinkle in the heart, the craft, the soul of a Studio Ghibli. And the engine that powers the whole thing? The real-time, community-first energy of Twitch. That's what they're going for. And their plan to actually make money from all this? It's really smart and honestly pretty simple when you break it down. Step 1 is all about going direct to fan. You build that dedicated community with exclusive media, cool merch, subscriptions. Then, step 2, you scale. Once an idea, an IP, has proven itself, then you license it out to the big players, your Netflix, your Audible, your Steam. And the final piece, step 3, is to build the whole ecosystem. A self-sustaining world where creators get a real piece of the pie through royalties and clear, smart contracts.
So I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great on paper, but is it actually happening? Is it real? Well, let's take a look at how they're putting this whole plan into motion with their very first pilot project. And here it is. It's called the Starkeep Universe. This is their big test case, their pilot program. It's this awesome, high-concept sci-fi fantasy world that, from the very beginning, was designed to exist across tons of different media. We're not just talking about one thing. We're talking video games, a web series, novels, comics, music. The whole shebang. It's a universe, not just a one-off product. And when you look at their roadmap, you can see just how ambitious the vision is. It all kicks off in 2025 with the Starkeep launch. Then, by 2026, they're already branching out into audiobooks and game prototypes. But here's the really crucial part. By 2027 and beyond, the big goal is to develop a TV pilot and, this is key, launch a full platform so that other creators can come in and build their own universes using this model.
So let's follow the money, because this part is really telling. In their initial seed round, look where the biggest piece of the pie is going, 40%. Straight to content production. This shows they're not just building some bloated corporate headquarters. They're putting the money directly into the hands of the creators, the artists, so they can actually, make stuff. It's a creator-first model.
Their tagline pretty much sums up the entire philosophy here. It's about building a whole new system for the future. A system where the creators, who are the real stars, let's be honest, actually get to keep what they build. They keep the ownership, the equity, and the control. And so, all of this brings us to the one big final question. Is this new creator-led universe model really the future of how we tell stories? Or is it just a new chapter in an old book, a temporary trend before the giant studios figure out how to adapt and just absorb it all? I mean, the answer to that question could literally define the next 100 years of our culture. So what do you think?